Good afternoon and welcome. Find me down at Swan Valley for 72 hours on another one of the Serious Carp Socials events. So there's 22 of us here today, all pegged out, all drawn out of the swims, set up in our pegs now, and all hoping for fish. I'm here with Michael again, and for the first time ever, we drew out. We're next door to each other. He's in a swim in the corner to me, which when we walked around was, we saw a good fish lump there, and I'd said to him, I fancy that swim. And ironically, came out the draw. Well, I didn't get it, but Michael got it, and I've come out in the swim next to him. So we really are having a social 72 hours. What can I say about the lake? I don't know a lot about it. I've watched a couple of vlogs on YouTube. There's a guy who regularly puts vlogs on, and he does okay on here. Like all fisheries, doesn't always catch. But I think he had a winter syndicate ticket he was on. So watched his videos, but I'm not actually in any of the swims that he's fished in there. So not that much use for me, but still good information to have had. Started off, this swim, I'm allowed to go 11 wraps out. So put a marker rod out 11 wraps to the typical carpy thing, right out to the maximum distance you can go. Had a little drag back and it was quite clear. Came back a bit further and it's weedy again. So I've put it back out to the 11 wraps, come back, I'm probably fishing 10.5 wraps. Put the bait boat out there with the deeper on it, and it shows us quite a hard surface when you're out there. So that's where one rod is. And what I did there, I left the marker out, put out a couple of boatfuls of, anyone watching thinks I'm putting a lot of bait out, but actually it's just ground bait. So I've got 2 different ground baits and 2 different boilers I'm using. Now out there is a garlic meat marine. So it's a combination of fish meals, meats and garlic. So and it's a nice dark red colour. So that's hopefully going to get the fish going. So that's out there, as I say, that's about 10.5 wraps sitting on a silty bottom. Put it out in the boat, put quite a big fat PVA stock in a ground bait around that as well, around the rig. So hopefully that takes off. But if not, well, we've got 3 days to see what happens. My right hand rod, I am literally fishing, well, if I move along a rod length, there's a set of reeds, and then half a rod length out, there's 5 foot, and it's nice and, well, it's a gravel bar. It's nice and gravelly, totally clear. So I've just done my favourite method, little solid PVA bag with a, I think I've got a pink sent from Hell dumbbell in there, again wafter. So not much there. I'm hoping that, fish come along, as long as margins are deep, they come along at night, and all fish, when we throw a boilie out, as we take it off the hair, throw it out, I think fish are used to picking up the odd bait when it comes along free, because not many people fish that close in. So that's the plan on that one. And then the left hand rod is going to a tree that separates myself and the swim that Michael's in, and he said he's not fishing that tree. So again, I'm fishing there, and I'm on 6 foot of water there. Again, I've come back, I'm off of the weed. I'm not actually on gravel, it's smooth as if something has been feeding there in the past. So that's where that is. And again, that rod is just a bit of ground bait and a solid bag with a little white wafter in there. So that's my line of attack for the 3 rods. Not going to put too much bait out on any rod. I'm just fishing for a bite at a time. Obviously, if fish move in, I'll put more bait out. If I get another one off that spot, then I'll start putting more bait in. If it's the rod out in the distance, then I will put 2 rods on that spot and see what happens. But I think that's it for now. Everybody's set up. It's a beautiful looking lake. I did a little video, and I'll probably slip in now, just looking at the lake. It looks spot on, the sort of lake you'd want to fish. Beautiful, the odd person walks past. It is the general public have access to it, and they walk past with their dogs. Everyone I've spoken to has been really nice and friendly. And yeah, interestingly, on one of the carp forums just the other day, somebody was saying how bad this is. Dog mess everywhere, human mess everywhere, toilet paper everywhere. Well, we've walked around the lake, not seen any of that. So don't believe everything you read on social media. Anyway, that's probably enough from me for now. Hopefully I'll be turning the camera on with a fish for myself or next swim along for Michael. But yeah, see you then. So welcome back. And just as I turn this on, a fish just crashed just over my shoulder. Had I turned this on a bit earlier, we would have had it on video. But that's a good sign. Yeah, no one's had anything yet today, but there have been fish milling around on the surface of the water. Rods are out. I've not moved them, and I'm not going to move them. All 3 rods will stay where I put them earlier unless I have a run, and it will still go back on the same spot even if I get a run. But yeah, that's the plan. Just keep fishing as we are and see what happens. I walked up to Michael. He's now got a 3rd rod out, although it's a tight little bay. We put the bait boat with the deeper on the back over into the corner just to establish how clear it was under there, what sort of depth you've got, and we've dropped a rod in there. Obviously, because he's fishing in a tight corner, I haven't done any video. I'll go over there next time. I'll take the video and do a little bit. But yeah, so he's fishing, all 3 rods are locked up. Fortunately, he's not. It's a tight little swim and he's not far from the rods. So if he gets a take in the night, he should be all right. So yeah, nothing else to report. As I say, no one's had any fish yet, but it's starting to look promising. Fish have been moving around all day. Hopefully they get their heads down tonight and a few fish will be caught. So update with a fish soon, hopefully, but if not, in the morning. See you then. Well, good morning, and yeah, bit of a quiet night for everyone. Just a quick look on Facebook, and no one's updated the group with a fish, so I'm assuming no one's had one. Tremaine's put on there he had a few bleeps at 4 o'clock, but that was it. When I saw Michael about 9:30 yesterday, and literally I said 10 minutes just so I walked away, he had what seemed like a proper run, and leant into it, nothing there. When he wound in, he had a little tiny black leaf on his hook, and that was probably enough to stop the hook nailing the fish. So got that back out because it was dark. I put it out with a boat for him on the same spot, but just with a pop-up this time instead of a wafter. But he's not phoned me or come around to get me to take any photos, so obviously nothing else has happened there. I had a couple of bleeps on that middle rod at 11 wraps. I think it was about 11 o'clock. And then at 1:45, again, because you're asleep, you don't really know. I had what sounded like a proper and the hanger was near the floor, so I came to the conclusion it wasn't a line bite because the hanger would return back to its normal position. But as nothing was happening then, I left it out there. I knew it was on a good spot and everything, went back to bed. I lay there for 15 minutes thinking, is there something wrong with the hook link, etc, etc. Wound in, it was perfect, nothing wrong with it at all. So wrapped the rod up to 11 wraps, sent the boat out in line with the tree that I'd been aiming at. A bit old school. When it got to the clip, stopped the boat, unclipped it, dropped the bait, so I'm fishing back on the same spot. And we'll just see what happens. I mean, just before I turned the camera on, I had a mad 10 minutes of the swan chasing the noisy geese around. But other than that, nothing seems to have happened. So it's 6:30 now. Definitely the next couple of hours is, for me, in my mind, fish time. So it's get the kettle on, have a cup of coffee, watch the lake. If I see something, I'll probably reposition one of the margin rods out towards wherever it shows. I did also put, there's a lovely clear spot, literally that far off the boards in front of me in 3 foot of water. And I put a handful of boilies on there last night just to see if anything comes in and eats at night, but they're still all there as well. So yeah, not sure where the fish are. They're hiding somewhere. Hopefully they make an appearance later on today when I update the vlog. See you then. And I just phoned Michael to see if he was about and come over and do a little bit of videoing in his swim. And he says, yeah, I've just put one in the net, Dad. So let's go and see what he's got. See you in a minute. Was it that one we boated out last night?
No, it's one in the middle.
Oh, right. Hold his tail up a bit. Yep. Okay, just a quick update then, back in the swim. I was going to spend a bit of time with Michael and do let him run us through what's going on in his swim, but I'll do that tomorrow because whilst we were videoing that fish he's just had, he actually stepped off with his waders off the edge and fell straight in the water, so he's freezing cold, soaked. So left him to sort himself out now, but as you will have just seen on the video, so that was just under £20, 19.14 I think it was. And as I said earlier, the guy on the island had a 27.8 I think it was, and apparently there was one fish lost in the night. So 3 bites, 2 fish landed, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come and the fishing's going to pick up a bit. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock now, so we've got the barbecue at 1 o'clock. We'll chip off over for the barbecue at 1 o'clock. I'll stick a bit of footage in here, and yeah, and then after the barbecue, unlike me, I'm going to be watching some TV whilst I'm fishing, because my team, Crystal Palace, are in the semi-final of the FA Cup, live on BBC One. So hopefully they can get to the FA Cup final. I think it's the first time in my life when they're at Wembley I'm not going to watch them. But yeah, it's a long story. I don't go to football anymore nowadays, but they're still my team. So I'll be watching the Palace and hopefully catching a fish later on. See you then. Doing the main food. This is what we need, lots of food. We're not catching any fish.
Coming, boys.
Well, good morning. Just thought I'd do an early morning update. It's only just after 5. Forgot to do an update after we came back from the barbecue yesterday. Hopefully I've slipped a bit of footage of the barbecue in anyway. But yeah, usual standard of food and everything. So Tremaine did a good job there. Everyone went back to their relative swims happy, I think, and content with their bellies full. Yeah. So we came back and, as I said earlier, was going to watch the football. So Michael and I sat in here, watched the mighty Crystal Palace win 3-0. So we're in the cup final. Got in the Palace. Anyway, what else happened? Oh, just before half time, my middle rod had a funny sort of take on it, and I think I initially flicked the GoPro on, but within 30 seconds of having it on, I knew it was a tench. So yeah, a tench, unfortunately, not a carp. So it didn't get an appearance on the camera either, I don't think. I think I just unhooked it and slipped it back. A bit disappointed with the tench, but nonetheless, at least something that was feeding on the spots. And then nothing else happened all day. I've woken up this morning, I've got a message from Michael. He's got a 26-pound common in the sling, waiting for me to go around and photograph for him. So after this, I shall go back into his swim and we'll get some footage of that on it, so at least someone's catching. Quick check on the Facebook group, and no one else has put any fish up so far, so it still may be that nothing else came out. Yesterday, since the barbecue, tactics for today, don't really know what to do because nothing's really showing, so there's no reason for me to change the spots I'm fishing. The fact that I've had a tench on one spot proves that something is visiting the area. So yeah, I think I'll just keep fishing those same 3 spots unless I see a fish show, and then I'm quite happy to put a solid bag on the head of whatever shows. So that's a tactic for today, and see what happens, or if I can see some fizzing, hopefully something will happen. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot else to say for now. As I say, I'm going to go to Michael's swim, put some footage on here of his fish. Maybe he'll talk us through where he's fishing and everything. Would help somebody else who may get in that swim at a later date. But yeah, that's it for now, and see you in a minute over in Michael's pen. Here we go, in Michael's swim again. Second fish of the trip, sacked up there. That's what we do. That's a twisted swim bladder, isn't it? When they're young. Quickly do his photos now. It should be able. Very good. Okay, welcome back. So yeah, Sunday afternoon. What can I say? Not a lot's happened in my swim. There's been one more fish out now, a chap. If you walk along this bank just past the island, then fishing into another corner, secluded corner, he's just had he had around lunchtime a 25-pound common. So that's 4 fish out now. 2 to Michael in that corner, one to that chap in the corner and one to the chap who was fishing off the island. Tactically, what can I say? Well, for my margin fishing, the boilies that I put literally just down there are still there. They've been there 48 hours now, so the fish definitely aren't coming really close into the margin, albeit there's plenty of depth there. The left-hand rod that I'd fished just off of a bush for 2 nights, again I've just brought that one back in. It was fishing perfectly, but it's not been touched, so the fish, if they are going to that area, they're not getting their heads down and feeding. So I've had a tactical change of plan on that one. When I got here Friday, I think it was early afternoon, the only fish I've seen showing in my area, in open area, was out towards some reeds over there. Obviously not on the far bank, someone's fishing there, but in that area, and I'd cast a bare lead out there and wrapped it up to see where that was. That was 11.5 wraps, so technically 6 feet further than I'm allowed to go, but nobody's been fishing that area, certainly since we've been here, so 48 hours, no lines on that spot. So I just made up a solid PVA bag, got a little wafter in there, cast it with 11.5 wraps. It went down with quite a thud as it hit the bottom, so I'm definitely on a nice firm spot there, and hopefully can nick a bite off of there at some point today or tonight. Even tomorrow morning would do. Yeah, just a bite would be nice. But yeah, so that's that rod. The middle rod is staying, it's 7 wraps out on the spot where I had the tench yesterday afternoon. I'm not even going to wind that in. I know it's fishing well. It's got a little trimmed down pop up on a spinner rig, just fishing off the bottom, the same rig that caught the tench. Hook's perfectly sharp. No need to change that. So that can sit out there until I either get a fish on it or we end up winding in tomorrow morning to go home. And the same with the right hand rod, that's 8 wraps out. It's on the spot where it's been for 48 hours. All the bait that's been around it is still, well, I say it's still there. It's mostly ground bait, so there's a lot of smells and attraction in the water, not much food for them to find other than my little, I think it's a wafter on that rod if I remember rightly. So yeah, that's the plan. Fish those 2 rods, leave them where they've been for the last 48 hours, and that left-hand rod on a new spot, and see what happens. I don't think there's a lot else I can say. I mean, as I say, nobody else has had even a run, as far as I'm aware. Tremaine put a thing on Facebook this morning, picture of his rods out, and he put a comment on there, not even one bleep in the night. Someone else commented on that post, yep, same here. I didn't even have a single bleep last night, no liners, no nothing. Obviously Michael had that one this morning, 4 o'clock this morning. So the lake is fishing very hard. I mean, slightly different today. This time yesterday there was quite a lot of small fish, especially tench, cruising just under the surface. There's none of that today, although we've got really high pressure. I'd expect to see them up in the water, but you can't see them today, and even if they are, we're not allowed to use zigs on here, so there's no putting a zig out to try and catch them. So hopefully the lack of seeing them up the top means they're thinking about getting their heads down, and a few people can nick a fish on this last, well, don't know what we've got now, 24, no 12, don't know, 18 hours I guess we've got left. So hopefully a fish or 2 can come out in this time, and a few more people going with smiles on their faces. But that's it for now. Hopefully I'm turning the camera on in a short while with a fish in my arms. But if not, see you in the morning wrapping it up. Well, good morning, welcome back. Probably a little bit dark because the brightness behind me alters how the camera focuses, but I thought you'd rather see the lake behind me than me anyway. So yeah, things are wrapping up now. It's 9 o'clock. We could stay on to 11, but I'm going to aim to get off for 10 o'clock. Nothing for me in the night. It's I've not even seen fish in my swim really for the whole 3 days, but that's the way it is. I think I said earlier, I've watched a lot of vlogs on here. A guy called Nathan definitely did the Winter Syndicate on here, and on his vlogs, whenever he turns up, if it's busy in the main lake, he always goes to one of the corners. He says the fish move out when it's busy, and that's what's happened. All the fish that have been caught in corners. So yeah, there's something for you if you're watching and you're going to come. It's something to bear in mind. Bear in mind to perhaps aim for one of the bays, one of the corners where the fish seem to congregate when it's busy. So there was 3 fish out last night. I think it was a guy. I think the guy's name's Stuart. He had a 30 yesterday or the day before, and I think he had a 34 last night. I actually put the weights under the fish because I'm not exactly sure of weights. And then Gary, who had the small common the other day, he had 2 last night. A mirror that I don't know how big it is, and then a 41 pound 6 ounce mirror as well at 1 o'clock this morning. So great session for him. A pasty, whatever size the other mirror was, and a 41.6 to wrap his session up with. And yeah, I think that was it. The 3 fish out last night. So currently there's been 9 fish out, but only to 5 anglers. So there's 22 of us here. So, but that's fishing, you know. If you're not on the fish, the chance of catching them is remote. You know, the odd one may come past your baits. For me personally, every time I've wound in, the baits haven't been covered in weed. They've been fishing nicely, whether it be a pop-up or wafter. So I couldn't do any more than I have done. Found the spots, fished the best that I could, put sensible amounts of bait on there, and yeah, unfortunately for me, my first blank on a Serious Carp Socials. Social. I never know what to say when I say that. Yeah, but what I would say, I'd definitely, you know, and I think I said it on one of our vlogs before, if you're looking to fish some of these waters, have a look on the Serious Carp Socials website. It's just a way to get on the lakes where you might have a chance before. They're very well organised, reasonably priced, great food. Tremaine's a really nice guy. He's always welcome to you go and chat with him, sit with him if you want. And yeah, I really like the setup. If you've never been abroad and you want to go to France, they do France trips. And again, if you look at what they're charging, I looked last night, it was £10 more than it would cost you to go on your own anyway. So yeah, you know, it's not like people say, oh, they charge too much money. I don't think they do. At the end of the day, it's a business, they've got to make some money. So yeah, so that's where we are. So I think that's it for here. Next vlog, yeah, I'm out at the end of the month at Northwick with Neil Spooner and Guy Dave. So I'll do a vlog on there, and hopefully it's not a blank. There's some good fish in Northwick. So hopefully we can get on them, especially with Spooner there. He knows the lake, and hopefully if I'm struggling, he can put me on some fish. So that'll be the next vlog that goes on live, and then after that it's the river's open, it'll be back to barbel vlogging again. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I didn't catch a fish to put on there, but I had the cameras all ready to go had I had a bite. But yeah, as I say, thanks for watching, and see you on the bank sometime.